Hi all, welcome to Workato Masterclass series. Today, we are going to continue our design discussion. Before that, let's have a quick recap on what we have learned in the previous session. We have learned about integration design, that are one is point-to-point integrations and hub and spoke integrations, and also how to use them with respect to a requirements. So if you have missed it, don't worry, we'll be providing you the link in the description box, as well as you can click a I button at the right top of our video. Don't miss it. So let's continue our design discussion from where we left off with a requirement and a design. Okay. So here the requirement is Salesforce to SQL data sync. Okay. Here are our requirement. Sync a new or updated Salesforce contacts to an SQL database. Ensure real-time updates with error handling and retry mechanism. If SQL row already exists, update it instead of creating a new entry. Okay, so this is our requirement. Now we have to design such a way that it should not go beyond our requirements. Say example, we should not do more than what we have discussed or what we have in our requirements, or less than what we have in the requirements. So for that, design gives the a foundation part for our requirements. So to understand which design suits well for this requirement is very important. For that to decide, we have to see the requirements carefully or read a design requirements carefully. So based on that, we have to decide and design. Okay. So now if you see the requirement, it says there are there are contacts in the Salesforce which we have to sync to the SQL, right? So now if you see, there are two applications involved in this. One is Salesforce and second is SQL. Other than that, there is no any other systems or applications involved in this particular requirements or our recipe design, right? So now this is straightforward statement with requirements that we can decide out of whether it's a HubSpot or a in point-to-point integration. Out of these two, which one of this is suits well for our record, right? So that is point-to-point integration because it's a straightforward Salesforce and SQL. There is no any system or application involved to do any transformations, or anything has to wait for something results from the other applications, right? So hence, we can say that this requirement suits to go with point-to-point integrations. Now, how well we have to design means before we do implementation, we have to think about design. So let's go and design it with our process design. Okay. Yeah. Let's discuss the how to design means I already did a design so that it not take much time to make you to understand the process. So it's straightforward design, right? So starting point is what? Our Workato trigger point has to be what? New or updated contacts in Salesforce. Means if suppose if I go and create any contacts in the Salesforce, our recipe has to in the position to get that contacts to our Workato platform, right? Likewise, if I update an existing record or in a contacts object, it should also should reflect, it should come to our Workato platform. So before we update or create in SQL, we should check whether that particular contacts already present in where in SQL. That means we have to do a condition check here whether that particular contact is already present in SQL. So if you tell me what is missing in this particular flow diagram or a process diagram. So right after we receive the contacts, we should what? Do a search or not? We have to do a search because without do a search, we cannot get the object, correct? We have to decide whether whether that contacts already present in SQL, we should do search or get all contacts also fine. We have to do search, right? Search the contact, contact in SQL. Okay. So if contact is present already, that means it's update with the reference of what we have received in SQL in the second step. We get that particular ID. We can say like contact ID. You can also say contact ID. With that contact ID, we update the contact in SQL. If it is not there, search's result is not present. That means it's a new contact which is coming from Salesforce. So we do create that contact in SQL. So followed by we end the process with the saying exit once or stop the job. So following the application, we have to know how to do a error handling, right? So either we can do a separate error handling in the search contacts SQL, or suppose we can do overall error handling as well. Because since it's end-to-end, point-to-point integration, we can see do a error handling in a overall process as well, right? So anything is failed in here, it's all related to what? SQL. Nowhere related to Salesforce will be in contact with the errors because the trigger level itself, we have only a Salesforce. Other than that, we don't have any Salesforce involved in anywhere in the systems or a process, right? So whatever happens, the error has to come from it should happen in the during the SQL process, whether it's be doing the search operations or doing the update or a create operations, right? So hence we can do error handling in the overall systems process. Okay. So based on that, we can send a mail to the stakeholders where it's got failed and which steps and why it's failed. Okay. This is a whole thing about the requirements gathering and designing. Once like decide the design, which particular integration is process it should follow. Then based on that, create the design. Then you make a implementations. This gives a confidence to us or you, anyone in the developer. As a developer, we know the exact requirements and we follow the exact best practices to follow the implementations. So hope you have understood the from requirement to decide the design, then how to do a design. That's basically a flow diagram in the any platform that's like design platforms you can use. So here I'm using Lucid Chart. You can use any of those, like similar to Lucid, right? So if you need any help in the deciding the design, like design tool or how to proceed with the design, if you have any difficulties, please put a comments or check your comments and we can give you the answer in the next session, or maybe in the it's a very simple question, we can answer it in the comment box itself. Okay, please do follow your best practices also. Okay, doing error handling part, everything. And so before we finished off our session today, we'll go back to our presentations and do a quiz. Okay, yeah. So it's a as we have always do a quiz. So here it is. Our first question is, what is the primary goal of designing a process flow for business requirements? Minimize cost without consulting performance. Ensure the design is complex for scalability. Or third is align the process with business goals and efficiency. Fourth, avoid stakeholder involvement to reduce interface. So it's a straightforward question. I think everyone can answer this. So this is align the process with the business goals and efficiency. As we discussed, so our design discussion comes into picture when we have a requirement, right? It has to align the process has to align with the business goals and the efficiency, right? So our next question is which design approach is best suited for requirements that are likely to evolve? Options are waterfall methodology, second are incremental design, third is linear design, fourth is static workflow modeling. So think and decide the answer. Just eliminate the you can answers as well based on the question we asked for. See which design approach is best suited means which design is best suited for a business requirements. Okay, let me give you the answer. This is incremental design means tomorrow suppose anything changes comes, we have to change our design first, then go for the implementations. So it should always be incremental design. We cannot minimize or we cannot fix the issues wherever we require. It should be a procedure way. What we have to do, design way, then followed by implementations. Okay. The last question is in business process design, what does fail fast means? Allow the process to stop at the first sign of failure, detect and address errors early to minimize the impact, design processes to fail in unpredictable scenarios. Fourth, prioritize failure paths over success paths. Success paths. Okay, it's a straightforward and also it's a little bit logical with respect to your design. I guess everyone answered this. Let me give you the answer. As a detect and address errors early to minimize the impact. So, why this option is suitable? Because when you think about the early detection of your errors, the more you improve your processes. Otherwise, it may impact your business very badly. If suppose it's your implemented design, you haven't done a unit testing or a QA testing and followed by UAT testing before it goes to production. So let's take a unit testing. If we not did a unit testing properly, it definitely fails in a QA testing. That means it is a early damage to your development. So if you fix it very well, and if QA testing is passes or unit testing followed by QA testing passes, that means your development is correct according to the processes or a given requirements. Okay, always do a unit testing thoroughly without hurry to give the delivery to a QA. If any error comes back, that means you are not did a unit testing very well. Okay, please keep in mind when you are doing your development, followed by do a unit testing with your confidence to get the confidence on what we have developed. It's come. Okay, with that note, I'll I'll be closing my session. Okay, with saying that keep learning and keep doing your design very well. Thank you and keep learning.